It feels pretty good and honored to be part of the value seller group, where as a community we are able to establish a culture, we are able to establish a platform for entrepreneurs across different communities. So thank you for welcoming me.
You deserve a lot, and thank you for highlighting those challenges which is common. That we see these challenges across, and patient or health is the priority for everyone. And you are bringing the AI innovation to tackle. Welcome to Value Seller Talks with First Time Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Deepak Bajaj. Before we talk about our guests, I like to share two purposes behind this podcast series. The first one, we highlight the issues these passionate entrepreneurs are addressing. And the second, support them. They are the real geniuses who want to have an opportunity from you. They are solving a real problem with their innovations and with their critical thinking. So value seller is always committed for their success and want you to support them as well. Today, I'm excited to have Swadeep Singh with us. Swadeep is a co-founder of Advice Analytica and CTO of Consist, which focuses on AI services and products in healthcare domain. A little bit about Swadeep. He's a pioneering AI entrepreneur. He specializes in empowering global healthcare business with actionable insights and advanced technologies to achieve meaningful outcomes. So they tackle the common challenges of AI and analytical projects which are failing to deliver the measured value. He utilized AI, machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, and deep learning to enhance the patient experiences. And believe me, all these words are the words which a real geniuses can understand. And the Swadeep is using it, so I understand the technicality and complexity behind it. And his focus is on this optimized clinical care and want to streamline the healthcare transactions, which is the biggest pain area in today's world. He holds multiple patents in AI ML and clinical application. So Deep was recognized as a 40 under 40 data scientist by the AIM group, which is a recognized group, and Sudeep was able to achieve that recognition. So it's a proud moment for him and for his family as well. And previously, he served as the director of data science at Optum, which is a Fortune 500 company, where he established their global AI capability center, and he led the initiatives that transform patient care and operational efficiency through his innovative AI solutions. And there's a lot more which I can add, but I want to pause it here. So welcome, Swadeep, on the show.
Thank you, Deepak. Thanks for the great introduction. It feels pretty good and honored to be part of the value seller group, where as a community we are able to establish a culture, we are able to establish a platform for entrepreneurs across different communities. So thank you for welcoming me.
You deserve a lot, and thank you for highlighting those challenges which is common. That we see these challenges across, and patient or health is the priority for everyone. And you are bringing the AI innovation to tackle those critical issues, and saving the life is the prime thing which anyone can do. So thank you for bringing those things. So,
Great.
Sati, we all know, and as I mentioned, the list is huge, right? So, but as a person, you are energetic and dynamic, which we all know about it. But we want to understand from you, who is Swadeep Singh as a person?
Absolutely, Deepak. So these are like very good adjective when you got energetic and associate some great words with me. But if you look at my journey, it is a traditional journey which a lot of people can resonate with me. So I did an BTech from one of the tier one institutes, followed it by a job at a PSU, then an MBA from IIM Bangalore, followed it by a job in a Fortune 5 company. So a job which a lot of people resonate, aspire, and want to do. and which is slightly less risk oriented. And what I call to my fellow mates as well, like, hey, this is if a person is more educated and if he wants to take the part which is a risk averse, he is not going more entrepreneur. He's not experimenting much. So my path traditionally has been something which people resonate with me, more traditional. But what I see myself differentiated is I had some ambitions across myself. And there are few core values as a person which I have grown with and I have taken forward. One of the strong purpose has been integrity. Like whenever I've worked anywhere, whatever I've committed to, whether it be MBA, whether it be my B school, whether it be my establishing GCCs or my entrepreneur journey, integrity is one of the core purpose through which I have done the stuff which I've done. I've always kept a sense of learning open with me. So a person who comes from mechanical engineer background, doing something wonderful in data science, it wasn't easy, but it was my passion towards a cricket statistics, which took me, helped me take steps toward data science because it's essential stats, it's essential numbers. So if you are trying to do something with integrity, trying to continuously learn, that is the one value which has helped me across the journey, keep me motivated, keep me moving forward. The other big purpose which I always seen is you have to keep learning, but you also have to keep on contributing. So your eye to deliver on outcomes, your eye to success is, hey, what have I actually contributed? And to be honest with yourself, if there are things which doesn't add value, be open, it doesn't add value. I have done a lot of such stuff, but being honest, having integrity, and always eyeing for outcomes for your client, your businesses, for health, or wherever you are contributing has become a great thing which I like a lot and which I see has kept me differentiated in the market. So again, as a person, if you call me a person who has traveled a very traditional path, which everyone aspires or everyone does, but two special things which I've kept very close to me. One is integrity with sense of learning. Second, always looking to contribute through sense of purposes.
Wow. So, as you rightly mentioned, and it's a very valuable information for 35,000 professionals who are connected with us on the social platform, specifically the LinkedIn. So, integrity, the learning, the vision, and the determination. It makes is a in a short word, I should say that's Deep Singh.
Yes, yes,
Very well said. It is a people are in today's world are actually distracted, so they have some short-term vision. But as you rightly mentioned about your journey from a different stream to now becoming a data scientist, and I know what the future is. New technologies will be coming in the coming time. So I'm pretty much sure. The one thing which you miss is the courageous. So because to move us, domain from one domain to another one, and that's an unknown domain which you don't have any background and the platform, there you are courageous enough to take that leap, and now the whole world is supporting you.
yes, absolutely. Like when you are doing something new, it definitely requires courage. Like you have to have a sense of belief to at least try out stuff. You cannot be held back in, okay, I've done this stuff, I won't be experimenting. Even when, as an entrepreneur, we step out, there are a lot of domains which we don't understand. There are a lot of things which are new to it. And you have to go there with a very humble mindset. You may have done 10 big things, but when you're entering a market, when you're entering a new domain, you have to be humble to accept it, learn from it. The market is pretty tough. They are not going to accept what you have done in past. One of the big learning which I got is you are as good as your last 6 months. So it always pushes yourself to keep on learning, to keep on innovating and keep on contributing because market is not there to teach you alone, but they are here to expect something from you. So you have to be courageous enough to try out stuff. You cannot be held back. Okay, what I have done is what is going to succeed. Things are innovating. I am into the AI domain, and AI domain in last 10 years has changed tremendously. What was existing earlier now doesn't exist. The cycle of turnaround is like almost like 1.5, 2 years. Every 2 years, you will say the technology landscape changing completely. You started with, say, traditional SaaS, then big data, cloud services, Pythons, and now people are only talking about large language model and generative AI.
Correct.
So you need to continuously innovate. You need to continuously keep on learning, and you have to be courageous enough so that you are able to contribute and learn from the industry as well. So that's what I always ask people, like, don't be held back of what you know. If you're not learning enough, if you're not contributing enough, then probably you will become stale, especially in the market where we are right now.
Correct. Very, very well said. Very well said. So go with the change. And nowadays, the new theme is the be the change.
Yes.
No, very well said. So, Swadeep, what motivates you to become an entrepreneur at this stage? Look, we understand the learner is one thing. Even an employee is also a learner. So here, whatever the technologies or the languages that you mentioned, the people are going with that. But now, from a learner to executor, and what I call it as an entrepreneur. So, what motivates you to become entrepreneur, and what is the purpose of your ventures?
Yeah. So, like, if I have to really classify becoming an entrepreneur, I never had a mindset like, hey, I will be an entrepreneur. It was sort of an accidental one, if I have to be honest, where there were conditions where I said, okay, let me give it a go. And I will tell like how it all evolved out. 10 years I have been doing AI and analytics. First 7, 8 years, what I say is we were going around in the market, knocking the doors and telling like what AI could do. We had to keep on educating people. Hey, this is the art of possible with AI. Why don't you implement? Last 2 to 3 years, the doors have opened. They have flooded. People want to do AI. There are a lot of shops which has opened up which say, hey, we do AI. But now my sense of purpose has changed. What has evolved is rather than just doing AI, do it responsibly. Do it in a way which generates outcome. Otherwise, it will become one of the fact. People have just abused it nowadays. And
Mm,
that gave me an opportunity like, hey, we have to do it responsibly. We have to do it for outcomes. Otherwise, the industry which we are in, that may eliminate very fast. A lot of people have emerged out. And if we talk about the markets, with the demand, there is a specific market which has opened out, which is the mid markets, which are not big enough to invest on AI experiments. They want AI for outcomes. They cannot invest on research. They cannot avoid failures. And a lot of the existing players which are there, they are not responsible enough. They just go and give it as an experiment, which sometimes ends up having a side features, not adding real value. And that's where
mm,
this mid market is struggling. And there's a great demand like, okay, how do I leverage this AI wave to generate those outcomes? And that's where we start to exist. Like for mid markets, we want to become a shop which gives you AI for real outcomes. It's not a fad, it is for outcomes which really matters, which transform your business, which transforms how your consumer consumes it. So
mm,
that's the purpose with which we reside. We have chosen a very specific segment to start with, which is a healthcare, given that the purpose of healthcare is way in depth. It impacts your life at the end of the day, and there could be no bigger purpose. And with all the AI innovations and everything, with all the data and challenge healthcare, it's a segment which requires most transformations. So essentially, what we are trying to do is in this entrepreneur journey, bridge the gap to provide people with outcomes through all those advancements, but responsibly, so that people are not just blown away with some false hopes or with some things which may not really generate outcomes, but also in a way through which people are able to feel the impact of AI in their lives. It's not like, okay, I'm using chat GPTs of the world or I'm using some AI bot. Sometimes it ends up being a draft or anything. In businesses, B2B, it doesn't work. People want those things to translate into, hey, how it is supporting me take clinical decisions. How is it supporting me get my claims faster? How is it supporting me personalize care to me? How is it supporting my behavior? Because I am sitting in office 9 to 5 versus someone who is sitting from 11 to 10 with a completely different behavioral health set. So how does AI helps in personalizing stuff rather than hey, there is a bot which can gives you something in writing. There are a lot of people who are abusing it, but as a company, our purpose is to serve the mid markets, to serve with purpose to generate the outcomes which nowadays some of the AI companies lack.
Mhm. Mhm. You have two ventures, so tell us about on those, and so that we will be able to relate the purpose and the mission of
Yeah,
your, two ventures.
yeah. So the two ventures, one is the Advice, which is a service arm of the business, and Consent, which is the product arm. So Consent typically deals in products for healthcare, where essentially they are providing services in personalized healthcare and in claims transaction processing. So essentially, like we are transforming healthcare through claims and clinical side through a couple of our products, which leverages both generative AI side of the businesses and uses some of the advanced analytics to help process the claim. The insurance side of the world has increased, especially in the emerging market. From 20% people being insured right now, around 60% of people are insured in last 5 years. So there is a great transition which is happening. The digitization has increased. The India digital journey for health has very great values. So that is a journey where we are supporting through a lot of digitization, AI, machine learning to help doctors, to help hospitals, to help payers to transform a lot of their processes. So the processes right now are getting established in India. So we are in pioneers in working with NHAs, in working with some of the global health companies, in working with, say, Middle East and central government insurance companies, and also like some of the group hospitals as well, which are willing to transform. With Advice, this is service arm because whenever we go to any businesses, any client, they are the one who are not only satisfied with the product, they need the customization, they have their specific needs. They say, hey, can you help me with some clinical models or something like that? They come up with, hey, can you help me with the RCM processes, revenue cycle management processes? So that is the specific space where Advice comes in, which provides you the AI services and which customs it based on your data, your solution. So the two companies where we are, so one is like the product arm, which is going on a large scale payer transformation and a hospital transformation, and Advice, which is more a service arm, which goes toward more custom requirements of the client, so that we doesn't become another company who is just trying to push our product because products sometimes have a limitations to specific set. Like when we work with certain hospital, they say, hey, my specialty of cardio operates pretty differently from specialty of transplant versus specialty of ortho.
Hmm.
Maybe your solutions could serve on three a different specialty, not on four specialty. So that's where Advice comes in.
Right. Yeah, very well said, because you have to make a perfect balance in both the from a solution and the delivery perspective where the services comes into. So this leads to a very interesting question, right? Then how you as a person balance your time and energy across such special complicated tasks, which and how you balance the responsibility between these two ventures.
Yeah. To be really honest, there is sort of mess sometimes where you have to land up with. So I won't say like, hey, it's perfect or it is something which has been figured out. I don't want to give those rosy images. Okay, it's very easy. There are a lot of messes which comes up, but the things which keeps on going, keeps you going is the sense of purpose again. Because when I said like there are two things which I personally look forward at. One is the purpose of learning and purpose of contributing. So these are two things which keeps me going. And then while you're trying to balance the two initiatives, the biggest assets which you could invest is in the people, in forming those processes. So entrepreneurship is a journey where you start with a lot of chaos and establish processes to streamline it. So that's what I said. Right now, it's slightly chaos. There is things which will go up and down and everything. But then there are things which will start getting figured out. You start figuring out the team, you start figuring out the team strength, you start figuring out the processes. And that's how the team gets developed and your skill starts coming up. So right now, like it's at a stage where we are trying to figure out It's at a stage where there are challenges which comes up. But again, like what motivates is almost like if your client feedback keeps you motivated, people appreciating your purpose, people appreciating the outcomes motivates. Your family contributes a lot to help you manage the multiple initiatives. So it's all the ecosystem around you which gives you those positivity, and then it's the ecosystem which motivates you to take one next step to contribute more. And then it's a continuous journey where we keep on taking a step back to redefine where we are going, where we are heading, how do we stabilize. So honestly, like last week as a company, we held our first big annual strategy meeting for upcoming years to establish a lot of processes, lots of best practices which we need to inculcate so that when we are going for the client deliveries, we
Mhm.
are being more focused and more predictable, because that's what the industry wants. They don't want unpredictability. We are able to establish like we are a bunch of strong core people who are willing to work hard and contribute. But then, hey, how can you extract those time to value in all those things? So that's the journey which we are in right now. Again, a bit of chaos, but it's going in the right direction where we are trying to streamline a lot of those things.
Mhm. Yeah, everyone, have a mindset that when you are an entrepreneur, it's a rosy picture, obviously with some if and buts, but the real obstructions are very different, which a person has to follow and has to undergo alone. So I want to understand, because this will be is a very valuable message from your side, which the people will understand and relate what they are facing. So, what are your biggest challenges you have faced? Maybe if you have a like few in your mind, and how you overcome them, because that will give a lot of boost to the people who wants to go into this entrepreneurship mode.
Uh, So this will come out from few of the questions which I answered at the back, and I will just expand on that.
Yeah.
When you are in the entrepreneurship journey, it is like, hey, coming from the chaos to streamlining things. Now let us try to define that chaos. The
Yep.
chaos not only comes based on what you are trying to do, but being courageous enough to do what you haven't done. Your market will always expect to do something innovative. You may not have all the money in the world or investment like a big company where, hey, you have sorted out everything before going out in the market. So you need to be courageous enough to experiment new things. Maybe take some big bets as well. Maybe take some risk as well. It cannot happen like, okay, everything is figured out. Because if everything is figured out, potentially your solution is not going to work. It has to be tested in market. It has to work in market. So you have to be courageous enough. You have to take that risk. And after taking the risk, after doing some of those initial experiments, how soon can you processify it? How soon can you scale it? And how can you make it repeatable? As we talk about some of the challenges is to build a team, a high focus team who is willing to be courageous. So one of the significant challenge is in building the high performance team, which is willing to take that risk, which is willing to be courageous, just like you are. So that's one big challenge. Like, how do you motivate the mind of the people to take that risk, to be courageous? There would be a lot of obstacles which come out. As an entrepreneur, we know like we are being courageous, we are taking risks. But as a team, they are just working. They are in their jobs. So how do we motivate them? How do we align them? How do we make them focus on the bigger vision and bigger picture? So that's one big challenge which we continuously keep on facing on how do we align our team to be a high performance team and align with how we want to progress, how do we want to move forward. That's one big challenge. We, as an entrepreneur companies, as a startups, you cannot always have infinite money to hire best in the talent. So the next best thing is hire people who are willing to be best and then invest in them. So that is one thing which we try to do to solve that challenge of hyperscape. We are very stringent in our hiring processes. Who we hire, how they will contribute, and how they can be groomed. We'll never have 100% groomed person. So we have to form a great journey to groom these people as well. So that's one big challenge and how we solve it. The second big challenge, which I said, hey, after you have taken all the risk and courage, how do you processify the stuff? Because To scale it up, you need to be more predictable, you need to be more processified so that you can repeat it across customers, across the client values and all those things. That is a journey which like we are also trying to figure out. And that's where I mentioned like, hey, we are trying to establish some of the practices of measurement, practices of developing some of the SOPs, practice of developing some of the trainings and everything. Again, if I say, hey, it's figured out completely, we are in entrepreneurship. We are not like somebody at a stage where, hey, everything is rosy, what we called about. So we are still trying to figure that out. But yeah, we have seen some good movements across the people, like things which we have practiced at the back. People are adopting it sometimes when the processes has got formed, sometimes when SOPs has got formed. So we have seen people adopting it so that your reworks are less. And second, like by forming the culture, we are changing a lot. Like we are forming a culture where we want to reduce those reworks. We want to increase the time to value to the client. Like, hey, we want client to get initial value within 1 month, even with all the data challenges and all those things. So through the culture and everything, that second thing which we try to motivate people and setting up the SOPs and everything, we try to give people enough power and enough tool sets so that they can achieve the processes which we want to do. So still, to be honest, we are not 100% there. Once we are 100%, we can meet again. We can share like big stories like, hey, we grow like 15x, 20x from last years after these are figured out. But yeah, right now we're in a journey of 3x's every year. And that's where like once the process are formed, we will definitely come back and say, talk about those 15x stories.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you highlighted a very important point is not to go with the perfect. You are selecting the person who wants to become a perfect, and that's the real courage and the real risk which which you as an entrepreneur is taking on. Second, well, I also want to understand, coming from a sales and a business point, that what challenges you are facing from when while you approach the customers. So how easy it is or how difficult it is, because customers always look for the brands.
Yeah. So there are two things which typically comes for us as a challenge. Number one, we are not right now the brand to be recognizable right now, not that scale. The second challenge which come out like some of the things which I've been talking about, the purpose to deliver outcomes. There are a lot of people in the market who will talk the same. They may not talk the walk, but they will also talk the same. So this is slightly like non-quantified side of the world where we step in. And these are the like two initial problems come out. And because of the same, like whenever we get a qualified lead or whenever we try to reach our market, it increases our time to sales. We had to have multiple conversations. Sometimes we consult before people start realizing our real value, the different thought process which we have before working with us. So essentially, the time for conversion is slightly higher given the lack of brand and lack of what should I say, uh, quantified things in terms of
You are
the
neutral.
value which we are
You are
trying to sell.
you are
But
totally
then, yeah, but then as the logos are getting added, the word of mouth are spreading in.
neutral.
Touchwood, we are getting a good traction. As consent, we have worked with multiple governments. As advice, we have worked with international governments. We have worked with mid segments. We have worked with some of the large hospital brands and everything. So now the credibility is coming in. When people look at the brands who got associated with something which even a mature people will find tough to navigate with. And when we hear words like some of our works, they are nominating in their AI awards, they are nominating as their flagship items. Sometimes they are planning to put it in their investor reviews as well. It encourages them just to get associated with those things are giving us some more traction. So again, there are challenges, but with the logos coming and with the initial successes which we are right now at a stage where we are being very open to market it and then like reach out to the bigger market set who may be openly accepting given those logos which we have. So our strategy was like go conservative, go out in the market, look for those logos, deliver the value. Like I said, delivering the value is which we focus a lot. And as we are doing that right now, we are at a stage where we can then market the values. Our customers are willing to share their words of mouth with our potential client. So that is what is helping us right now.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree that the referrals are the biggest source of they have a high chances of the business closures, right? And definitely the referrals will be only be coming if they find you a promising player, not in terms of delivery, but the player which will stay for longer time. That is also
Exactly.
one of the perspective. If I would be the customer, I will definitely look into I will invest my time and energy into that company, which I believe can stay for a longer duration. Yes.
And that's where like you touch a very critical point. People want to invest in a company who stays there. So when I talk to people or customers, potential client, one of the conversion which we have is as a customer, they don't want to get things done cheaper.
Mm,
Their primary goal is to get things done.
yes.
Cheaper is the second thing because they have a bigger motivation around it. And if the company who is offering you cheap is they are not able to deliver, or if they are going to shut down, then essentially nothing is delivered. You may be quoting 10 times lesser, 20% lesser, or whatever it may be. And then if you're not delivering, then for them, their investment, complete investment is going for waste. So that's the specific place where we have invested. We have invested in our offices. We have invested in our long-term people
Mm,
commitments. Sometimes we like some of the contracts which even we sign. They are based on long-term MSAs. There are SOWs which keep on getting signed, but they are based on uh, long-term MSAs because that's what the partners are looking for. Again, as we go toward that hyper growth, right now we are, like I said, we are into a journey of 3x growth rather than 8x growth or 15x growth. But as we go into that journey, we will need to scale that model a bit where if people are coming, they are signing different size deals. Right now, we are being very conservative in signing the deals where and the deals are most like where we see a multi-year relationship and even they are able to see a constant value from our side. But yeah,
mm,
that's definitely a problem which we sometimes face. Hey, how do we ensure like you will stay there? When we just started, that was a bigger of problem where as a credibility of a founder, we used to sell ourselves. But now
yes.
being in the market for 2.5 years with some logos, people are more realizing the value and they're getting more confidence. So it's like stay there. Don't go for something which you feel may transform the world. I always say sometimes the hard miles are something which will give you more successes than the shortcuts which are there in the market.
Definitely, definitely. And consistency where the people get the confidence. So I always believe that, for initial 1 or 1.5 years, people will only observe you. Obviously, they will ignore you for initial 6, 7 months, but after then they'll start observing you for another 1 year. So the entrepreneurship is a journey. Not There is no shortcut. There,
True,
there,
true, true, true.
there's what you say. There's no quick money scheme.
And that's where, like, when I interact with some of the new age entrepreneurs,
Hmm,
I sometimes say, hey, look for the real value, what you're adding, because it is very easy to rise fast and to have a equally steep downfall as well.
hmm,
If you're doing the hard maths, if you're understanding the real pain points, solving the real pain points, those are the things which will help you stay afloat longer in the market. Uh,
right.
Short-term success is something which, as an entrepreneur, I don't buy it or I don't sell to people. Like, okay, we create one solution which will transform the world. It will be set of solutions which you will keep on adding to make it more comprehensive, more sustainable. Because if you could do a short-term solution, what differentiates you from another smart people not doing and overtaking you? There are
Hmm,
lots of smart people in the market. So what will differentiate you? How much continuously you keep on adding new stuff and how continuously you are sustaining the value proposition which you have and how continuously you add more things to the journey. Just one transformation, the others may copy as well.
definitely, definitely. I now would like to take your perspective that how critical is AI to the future of business innovation in today's world? And what advice would you like to give to those companies who are thinking or exploring the ways to integrate AI in their transformation journey?
Yeah. So this is like a very uh, close topic to my heart, and I have given these discussions in a lot of B schools as well. So I will tell you my perspective. When people are talking about AI nowadays, sometimes people talk about, hey, how can AI transform my world? How can they transform my journey? But people are not cognizant about, hey, what value it can add, how it will act in your business. You should not be looking for something where AI just doing a features, but something where AI actually transform how you do the business. And not only the businesses of the new digital age companies like Amazons of the world, Ubers of the world, even the traditional companies, because they hold a lot of data. I can give an example where Domino's did a very simple experiment where they applied computer vision to just monitor the quality of the pizza so that what they are advertising and what they are selling, they are similar. People should not complain like, okay, the toppings look different versus what you are selling. So a very simple use case where even in a food industry, you
Mm,
see an application of AI to do the quality control. So when I give advice to the companies or anyone who want to start the AI, the first message is be very clear of the purpose. What do you want AI to do? Don't start with, hey, I want to do something with the AI. Start
mm,
with what is the business problem I'm trying to solve? Hey, I'm
mm,
trying to increase the quality. I'm trying to generate new value. I'm trying to generate something for my consumer. Don't start with, hey, I want to do something with AI. Start with your purpose of your business, because if you're not starting with a business purpose, you will easily get deviated. You will keep on looking at AI features versus what your business needs. Again, people who are into the AI, they need to keep on experimenting with AI. But as a business owner, you need to experiment with your business on what is the value being sought by the business. So be
right.
very clear with the purpose of your business and then see where AI could be plugged in. I always say your journey should start with business problem to an analytical problem to an analytical solution to a business solution. You
Mm,
could never start with an analytical problem to an analytical solution. That's not your business. Your business is business problem, your customer problem. Your customers may not come like, okay, give me a model to upsell in the market. Your business may come, yeah, I want to increase my sales with my existing customer by 2x. And that's where you want to take that input and define how AI plugs in. And that's what we say a problem formation comes very important. So set up a clear purpose. The second thing which company needs to start focusing is to create that data readiness.
mm,
AI is all about data. With the advent of generative AI, people sometimes believe like data is not needed, but if it's your business, you need data. Otherwise, the application which you will be building with generative AI, they may not be differentiated enough. And when we go out on the market, the thing which we sell to the market is your AI should be your differentiator. We want to create a bespoke AI solutions which fits your market and gives you a differentiation. Otherwise, with the advent of a lot of chatbots, AI, and everything, everyone can duplicate. It's not a differentiator. You will not gain more market share out of it. So you have to have a very strong data foundation being built in your systems, your organization, so that those bespoke AI could be done in your market, which could help you give an competitive edge versus something which could be easily replicated.
okay.
Third thing is think long term, be patient with AI. Sometimes there is a long gestation period, both some in development as well and in adoption as well. Your tradition, like we work in a very traditional setup of healthcare.
Mm,
Doctors are not used to using AI. So you have to be very conservative. You have to think long term. You have to be sometimes patient. How can
mm,
I start touching doctor with one solution, then second, then third? If you say, hey, I've built a world-class solution, doctor may say, hey, I don't want to change my behavior. I'm already busy in treating the patient. That is my primary job. I'm not a techie person. I'm a doctor.
Mm.
So that's where you have to think long term, start changing the behavior slightly, start giving them the value so that they start encouraging it.
Yeah.
The other important elements is look for the right partners. If you are not having the right AI partners, there is very easy you will get misguided. You will get misguided by something which is written somewhere, which is more in experimental phase, especially if you don't have capacity to fail. So look for long-term AI partners. So these are the four things which I say people. First, look for the purpose of AI. Start with the business problems, not with analytical problem. Second, get your data ready. Encourage with the data. Three, be patient. Think long term, because sometimes the value may take some time to come. Some of the clinical things may take 2 to 3 years before being established. Think it like a clinical trials. Four things, look for the right AI partners so that you're not misguided or sometimes you're not hit back very soon enough if you don't find the results.
A very, very informative thing, because these four pillars will help you to complete the purpose of your startups or your ventures. And the people, because patience is something which people lose very oftenly, and that's the reason there we are hearing a lot of startups who are, losing the edge, or they are in the on the edge of shutting down. So thanks for bringing all these points, and this gives. While you were talking, I was also thinking about one of the organizations who is in the downfall, era, and what I was realizing that yes, they become so accustomed with the problem solving, but they forget that what the problem was when they started. So that AI machine learning looks very lucrative, but yes, these are the unleashed animals which has to be used, and which has to be developed on the time to time based on the adoption of by the customer.
True, 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 true. Like you cannot just say, hey, AI does things for me. Like I said, you have to be differentiated in the market. It's your business at the end of the day. If
Mm.
you have to put AI, put it for creating a differentiated solution. Put it for something which will add more value to your company rather than something which anyone else can replicate. And that's where I say, never look for shortcuts. Keep on building stuff. Keep on doing the basics right. The big businesses which has built up, they haven't been built overnight. They have created layer by layer. Those cores have been established, and then only they have grown big. So even with AI, don't look for one big solutions. People say, hey, chatbot can do all those things. I talk to people and say it took 5 years for them to build, and even right now, every year they keep on innovating, they keep on bringing something new. So it's not one shot, and it's not like something which got developed in one go, and something which is even perfect today. So it takes time, it takes investment, it takes effort, and if you want to develop something big, be invested.
Definitely, definitely. Now the people think, yes, you rightly mentioned that once I have a power of chat GPT, then they become the super experts, which is not the
Yes.
full case. Yeah. Uh, you touched base about a very important point on the partners and the collaborations, right? So how just explain that how such collaborations with other companies, especially in this new domain of AI, right, have contributed in your success and the expansion plans.
So as a startup, you have to be super focused on what you can do and what you can give to your customers. If I say, hey, I can do everything,
Hmm.
then probably you are lying to yourself, to your market. You
Yeah,
have to be focused because at the end, you cannot solve entire world's chaos, what I mentioned. You have to select the chaos which you want to solve and then solve for that. So when we talk to our clients, like we have a very strategic partners, even like we say, consent and advice. They join together as a service arms and as a product arm. Also, like we have more partners who sometimes help us build products and everything. So what we essentially do is there are different needs in the market. There are different players who are accustomed to solve that, who knows how to solve that effectively. So we form that very strong circle of partners within ourselves as well, so that at the end, when we are delivering the value to the customer, that is both cost effective and value appropriate as well. If somebody say, hey, can you develop a big software for me? My answer would be, it will take money for me, and I may not be the best one to do it right now. And this solution which I will deliver with, say, the budget which you have given, say 300K, may not fit for purpose. Versus I say, hey, if there is a 300K K budget, give me 50K. I will build a best AI solution for you. Let's park around 200K for a technology player. Let's park around another 50K for, say, consultants. And as a group, let us form one group with a PMO and all those things. And let us deliver a good SaaS product which have a very good power of AI, which solves your business problem through consultative way and gives a very strong technology to you, rather than one person who tries to solve everything but solve it non-optimally. So how can, as a partner circle, how can we deliver those value at a quality and at the cost which could be unparalleled? And that's how we as small stage startups are surviving, because we have to sometimes compete with biggest in the market, say big four companies and all those things, who also comes up with lots of good solution. But when we go out there, we say, hey, we have this partner ecosystems who specializes in their world and who specializes better than even those big companies. And together, we may be able to compete with best in the market.
And from a customer point of view, they also like the transparency that these guys are not bluffing. They are coming and with their own ecosystem to solve that problem which they are advising for. And
Customers are smart enough nowadays.
they are very smart. Yeah. And the good some so yeah, some customers ask for immediate quick solutions, but some guys who also align with the long term thought process, they look for a neutral companies who can give a right approach. And obviously they also understand that they don't have a big AI arms, or they don't have the money, because as you
Yeah,
move ahead in the value chain, their overheads also gets increased. So I
true.
believe these collaborations can create a real value for create a win-win model for everyone.
Exactly. So that collaboration and partner ecosystem is something which everyone should be looking forward, because everyone has their own purpose.
Hmm.
But customer, when he is looking for the value, and I'm not saying just the B2B customers, and even the end customers, he doesn't want to differentiate between who delivered it.
Hmm.
He will look at the end outcome. And if they're coming with different purpose, and if we say, like, a very crude example could be, yeah, give a call center. There are people who are specialized in doing sales, and then
Hmm.
say, hey, for service, let me transfer you. Hey, for this, let me transfer you. As a customer, you will be like, okay, what is this? I am just calling a company.
Yeah.
So whatever has to happen at the back end for processes, people are specialized, that is good enough. But you should have a centralized navigation point which takes care of everything. So when you go there with the partner ecosystem, you say, hey, there's only one phase which is there, but at the back end, I have those service arm, sales arm, and everyone supporting seamlessly. The word
Hmm.
here is supporting seamlessly, because that's what the end consumer will experience.
Hmm. Hmm. So that disruption is actually killing their experience, and that makes them think about to look for the another alternative, and that's where the people lose their customers.
And people are willing to buy that, because if I talk to you and you say, hey, there is a specialist team,
Hmm.
you are not unhappy with that. You are happy, like, okay, somebody will solve it nicely. But your navigation point needs to be streamlined. You
True,
cannot be just repeating your problem in front of all those four departments.
true. Agree. Same problem with the repeating. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I can you can talk to any call center, and the outcome is generally a worst, right?
exactly. Exactly.
Hmm. I'm more interested into, your aspiration and your growth plan for next few years. So what development you are into right now, and what initiative you have taken, you are considering in the at the start of the new year now.
So, like I mentioned, right now we're in a process where we have created some strong logos, some strong solutions. Now is the time where we are trying to streamline and go slightly big bang in the market. Our
Hmm.
next focus is expanding in Middle East, expanding in our solutions to the players which have already served their competitors, and investing a bit in the US market. So these are like three big growth strategy which we have. Like Middle East becomes like a immediate expansion based on our solutions which we have, based on the solution which we have delivered. US is somewhere where we're really investing in creating new solutions where the existing solutions or health solution which we have created, they're natural extension to it. And that's where like as an entrepreneur, we are looking for the money places. That's where the money is. And that's where people are investing right now as well. The third thing is like with the traditional setups where with the market which we have served, whether it be provider market, whether it be anyone software companies or people who want to invest in AI, we are looking to establish those small solutions which could be easily plugged into a lot of products as well like our generative AI solutions, our solutions with zero shot learning, our solutions to establish people's data readiness, data marts, their strategies is something where we are investing hugely because we know like the initial hook is hey, get the people data ready, get the people with initial solutions, and we are there for the long game. So we are going slightly aggressively doing both marketing and sales across it mostly focused on similar customers in India, new customers in Middle East, but our R&D will be more focused on US based market.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I believe that market is a well developed enough. We have a proper infrastructure which is required for the AI to get all these inputs.
So the market which we are targeting, mid market over there, again,
Mm.
like we say, we have to be humble enough to accept and learn that.
Mm, mm.
People have their own challenges. When we have interacted with few, the challenge which they have thrown, I cannot dive into detail, but has
Uh,
been very sometimes very different, and sometimes the challenges are something which we solved in a big company 10 years back.
okay,
So,
okay.
so there are sometimes the similar problems because the segments has not matured enough.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great input. Yeah, because the perception sitting from the developing countries towards and having a look towards the developed countries, the obviously you will find everything is there which is already been set up. But yes, there are loopholes everywhere, and that's where
Yeah,
intelligence and expertise comes into to identify and then to plug in.
exactly, exactly, and that's where the value is. Like the skills which you already have. If you try to use that to solve the problems, that's where you will be able to deliver the value.
Hmm. Correct. Correct. Got it. Got it. So, Deep, maybe in the interest of time, I would like directly move into the last question, and I would like to have your advice, which you want to give it to the first-time entrepreneurs or the aspiring startups or entrepreneurs who want to start their journey in this domain.
Yeah. Uh, this is something which has been told to me multiple times, and even in one of our discussions that came out.
Hmm.
For any aspiring entrepreneur, one thing which he has to learn, there are no shortcuts. And in the business world, people want businesses to survive. People want businesses to deliver rather than deliver it fast or not deliver.
Hmm.
So, as an aspiring entrepreneurship, you may have great ideas, you may have great solutions, but two things to always keep in mind is stay humble, respect the market, like what market is demanding, because that will always enhance the solution. You may have your different perceptions. The market is there to accept it. Sometimes you may be early in the market as well, or sometimes you may be late in the market. So always be humble, respectful for other market. The second advice, which I would say, and more from the purpose of surviving a business, always look for the cash flows. Like if you're not having generating enough cash flows, if you're just saying, "Hey, I'm running with an idea," maybe your idea may have a shelf life, your money may have a shelf life. So, in order to culture that idea as well, you need cash flows because you need to survive in the market. And with that, only you will create a brand presence and be able to generate more businesses. So, always have an eye on two things: be humble with the market, learn from the market. Second thing is work on creating a long-term businesses rather than running after an idea which you are not able to sustain with your cash flows or anything.
Mm, mm. And the partnership, I believe that is also most of the people misses out because they want to do everything by themselves.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And that's where like people will have the survival instinct of, hey, how do I survive and how do I generate value? How do I'm able to cater to the market? So that becomes pretty important.
So thank you, Sadi, for such an insightful conversation. I know you have a lot of content to share, lot of information to share, but in the interest of time, we have to take take a pause, take a conclusion on that. But I understand what you really mentioned, and I'm pretty much sure the audiences which will be listening to our podcast, they will relate with their current business challenges, and the point which you mentioned will be a key for them. Uh, I always believe the people should will always learn more when they start contributing, and I'm really humble with your integrity and your determination which you have mentioned so far. So before we conclude, I want to ask one thing: if anyone wants to get correct with you for taking your expertise, what is the best way?
So there is a LinkedIn which will be getting added to the post. So you can connect through my LinkedIn. Uh, we can attach my email address, which is swadeep_singh at advice.ai. Again, these are two things which you will see in the comments and in the post, through which just connect with me. We can have a chat and a long discussion around it.
Perfect, perfect. So, for our listeners, if you want to explore how AI can help your business grow through the solution, through strategic partnership, through consultancy, so don't hesitate to connect with Swadeep. He is the best man to give you a right consultation, or he will be the man who can connect you with the right people within his ecosystem as well. Because, as he always mentioned, one person cannot do everything. So, until next time, this is Deepak Bajaj signing off.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Swadeep.